Hello, friends. Welcome back to the virtual page tuning and welcome to the Friday conversation, episode 151. And we're here this week with Jose because he's the only one brave enough to put up with my bullshit. So, Jose, how's it going?
Not but 2 weeks running, Steve. 2 weeks running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right. We were trying to come up with topics for conversation before going live, and I think between the two of us, we managed to have something going on. So
Yeah.
all ready.
Yeah, I think so. I think lately I've been seeing, I don't watch a ton of BookTube anymore. I used to watch a lot more, and I wondered why I don't watch as much. And I started to look at the content, and not all of it. I mean, you can't generalize everybody, but a few years back, kind of like when we started, there was a lot of kind of reviews and there was people talking about what they're reading and kind of discussing the books that they're reading and kind of what their thoughts are. And now it's a lot of it seems like everything is a lot of drama and a lot of kind of what's wrong with everything. And it's no longer about reading and well, not like I said, there's still people who post things that are like that, but it seems now that it's more about like kind of the TikTok stuff, like the drama and what's wrong with this book and what's wrong with that book. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of books that you can break down and say what's wrong with them, but it seems like it's a lot more negative now, and it's a lot more you know lists or just kind of people complaining about the state of something. Is it just me, or is that?
Well, I'll take your word for it because just like you, I don't watch that much BookTube, if at all. And that's a bit stupid since I've got a channel myself. But I think what I've noticed, like I mostly do book reviews and then the interviews and conversations,
Mhm.
which is the bit that generates the least engagement. I'm sure you know that. So if you started a YouTube BookTube channel and you're chasing the subscribers, you're chasing the engagement, you're chasing growing it, what engages people is the rage bait, is the drama, is the criticizing stuff, and what generates the least engagement are actual book reviews and book conversations or analysis. So also because I don't do the whole you subscribe to my channel, I subscribe to your channel
Mhm.
because we talked about it before. I haven't got the time every week to watch 100 booktubers latest. There's two or three people that I like what they do and that I follow, but beyond that, I haven't got time for that sort of thing, which is a shame because I did this conversation with Jared on the channel. We talked about intellectualism. Again, someone there's this, I think, Books with Sarah. You mentioned it about
Mhm.
page two. I tried to contact her to invite her to the conversation, but she never replied to any messages on Instagram or on the channel or whatever. But we thought it was a really good point of conversation, and we wanted to you know, flesh it out a little bit and talk about whether intellectualism is dead in the booktube community. By intellectualism, meaning literally just talking about plots, characters, why you may like or not like a book from a sort of structure, plot, character perspective, not because you don't like the author or it's not trendy or anything like that.
Mhm.
But again, those things don't generate engagement.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a the rage bait is something that you can use to your advantage, I guess, if you want to grow. But I think when you invite a certain type of viewership to your channel, you invite that negativity too. So you foster this environment and become eventually the target of it too. So,
Yeah,
you can be.
I don't want any drama. Luckily, because I got two experiences: the channel in English and the channel in Spanish, and I get a lot more interaction with the channel in Spanish, and some opinions there. I get a much more virulent response than I do in English. There's a big Brandon Sanderson fan army out
Hmm.
there, and if you're not ready to say he's the best thing since Tolkien, if not better, they pounce on you like hyenas on a carcass.
Oh,
But yeah, whereas in English, I can say what I think and I get less engagement, maybe because there's a lot more people out there putting their thoughts. But I'll tell you one thing I liked that I've copied on the Spanish channel. I don't know if you know Bookish Chas.
hmm,
He did this video where he said, give me your controversial opinions and I'll react to them. And I
that's a
thought,
good
but I
idea.
thought, but I thought that was a good idea. I thought that you get a bit more interaction. It's not as good as sitting down and having a conversation. But he got quite a few people involved, and myself included. And then he did a video addressing everyone's points. And I've
Hmm.
done the same in the other channel, and it can be fun if you are respectful and you do it with a slightly tongue in cheek. It can be a bit of good, engaging fun.
Yeah, I can see that. He, I know we had a long discussion about the anti-intellectualism video that Zara made, and I think I see this outrage about that, but then I also wonder, why do you care? Like, why is it a big deal? Like for me, people can make the content they want, they can complain about whatever they want. I'm not going to watch it, but if you watch it, then you just fall into the trap. You boost it in the algorithm. You're part of the problem. So if you sit and watch a 25-minute video about somebody complaining about something, and then you sit back and complain about everyone who's always complaining, then it's just, you have yourself to blame because you're boosting it. You're feeding into the machine. So don't watch it.
I
And
I saw something today, and it was on Instagram. I can't remember what it was. My wife just sent me a whole bunch of crap stuff on Instagram. My Instagram feed is mostly people hurting themselves in stupid ways, right? I look at my friends and they'll get women in bikinis. I get people cracking their heads on the pavement. And it was one of these stupid videos, someone falling down, and one of the comments, and I felt so identified, was, "I am responsible for my own algorithm." And it's like, yeah, absolutely. And I think to a degree, what you said is right. We have to take a bit of responsibility that if that's all you watch, you're going to get fed more of that. But again, that's what it's designed to do, isn't it? That's what
mhm.
generates engagement. So, but the one thing I will counter you with that, or to that, is there's a slight risk of falling into some kind of absolute relativism that like nothing matters. And where did you draw the line? Because yeah, don't watch it. Fine. Say people come out criticizing Crossed,
Mhm.
your comfort read.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna? Would you not like wanna offer a contrarian opinion, or would you just let it be? Because then, what's the point of doing this?
I guess it depends on the approach. If it's a like a if it's a legitimate analysis and say, this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like about it, this is why I think it's a horrible book, it should never then fine, I can deal with that. It invites conversation. But if you come out and say this book is complete crap and it should be burned and the people involved should be banned from ever making a book again, then okay, well, what didn't you like? I mean, what don't you like about the story? What don't you like about the book? Otherwise, it's just complaining. But give me reasons why, and let's talk about it. And I don't. I mean, it's all in the approach.
I'm not entirely sure. There are, what do I know? That there are many booktubers that all they say is that this book is crap and it should be burned if they don't like it. You don't feel a 10-minute review by saying, I didn't like this book. It's a piece of rubbish.
No, but I think there's lots of, especially like middle and end of the year. There's lots of the worst books of the year.
If you say so. I just don't
Yeah,
follow.
there's
So.
there's a there's quite a bit of that. Or like my 10 least favorite books ever, or
Yeah.
things like that. So I think it is, it all depends on the approach. But
I'll tell you what's the content that I was going to say despise, but that's a strong word. But that I really think has got zero added value is the people reacting on other people's reactions,
oh yeah,
or like someone, like the meta, like someone does a book review, positive or negative, and then you go someone else taking clips from that original review, commenting on it, and again, that's not a two-way conversation. I know it's the lowest form of content creation. You take someone else's work and just add your commentary as you go along. That's devoid of any creative thinking.
yeah,
Because there was that controversy with, I didn't, because I don't follow, I wasn't unaware, but there was a big controversy with Daniel Green. He was involved in some
mm,
sort of lawsuit, whatever it was. I don't know the specifics. But the only reason I found out is because I started getting fed videos on people commenting on whatever happened to him and whatever videos he had made about that topic. And it's like, man, that's like pretty. I don't know where he lives, but I'm sure you don't. You're not around the corner. You've got people across states in the U.S.
yeah,
talking about each other's lives. Like, what is that about?
yeah. Well, there's a big reaction content kind of this group of there's lots of people who do that, and I think I know people have kind of created really big channels out of it, out of reacting to other things. My reaction to this video, and all they do is play the video back that someone else made, and I think it's theft because if you spend, let's say, 5 to 10 hours making a video, you create the video, you post it, and then I get your video and I play it in its entirety and I just talk over it, and people watch my video and subscribe to me. They've also watched your video, so why go subscribe to you and watch your video after they've already seen it? These big huge channels, they get these smaller channels and they react to it, quote unquote, and the small channels rarely ever benefit from it. It doesn't help them. People just stick with the bigger channel that is
Yeah,
reacting to the whatever it is, and it's kind of sad. And I think it's when you take someone's video like that and replay it. I don't know. It's just like the lowest form of content. It's like
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's awful.
You get that a lot with. Well, where I've seen it a lot, I'm sure it's not the only case, is with Joe Rogan. And how many channels are out there commenting on Rogan's podcast? Whatever latest interview he's got, you got people clipping bits out,
Mm.
making comments about it, and it's like, well, it's not that much effort, isn't it?
No, I mean, on one hand, it's like you found a way to create your own platform on the backs of other people. So I guess congrats, I guess. But if you're playing the game, but I think there's just this other side of it that is it's just kind of low. Like you take someone's hard work and you just replay it for your own benefit.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't.
And ultimately, that's the game.
Yeah,
That's out there, and people that want to engage in that and do that, fine. People that don't want to do that is fine as well. You take it or leave it, isn't it? We all have that option, but it's not an avenue that I want to take.
yeah. I think it's kind of I don't know. It just like there's lots of bigger channels that always clip out the smaller channels, and you see a small bump for the smaller channels, and then they always peter out. They rarely ever gain a following. It's just too bad. But that's YouTube. I mean, that's just kind of the way the game is set up, which is too bad.
It is a shame that the bits I enjoy the most about it are the bits that get the least engagement.
Yeah.
It's just, um, you know, like I told you the other couple of weeks ago, a month ago, I interviewed Eduardo Rizzo. Fuck me, an hour plus conversation with him, 150 views. It's like, are you
Yeah.
people crazy? And then I do you a tour of my bookshelves, and within a couple of hours, it's got 500 views. It's like, what are we doing here? Anyway,
Yeah. I think that's kind of now you have to really hook people because people are so used to just being fed content. And if you, their attention spans, they don't have a long attention span. So that that's not everybody, of course. I'm not talking about everybody, but just generally speaking, I think it's TikTok is a great example of it where, you have a minute or so video and then you move on to the next thing. And when you get used to absorbing content so fast, this is what you expect. And TikTok has how many millions, tens of millions of, or hundreds of millions of users or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not one of them, but when there's so many users on the platform and they absorb content like that, they get used to it. So, they kind of want kind of, a bookshelf tour over a conversation with a successful artist or writer or whatever.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. And it's a thing now. Kids want to be YouTubers, don't they? My little one does. Um, so I try. Basically, it's a battle. I don't mind him watching age appropriate stuff on YouTube. It's just the shorts that I really like. Nah, you're not watching shorts. That's not good for anyone.
yeah,
Like,
I
I
hate
don't mind.
shorts.
I don't mind you watching Mr. Beast doing stupid stuff. Because that's modern day cartoons, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
I guess so.
but I just don't want the shorts thing, like every 10 seconds being fed something completely different.
It's wild.
It's a strange world.
It is. It's strange with YouTube changing. You wonder if what YouTube will look like in the next 5 years. With it, it's trying to become this catch-all platform that has everything on it. So will there be room for just the random person who wants to start a channel and
I think so. I think so. That's not. I don't think that's going to go away. But so earlier this afternoon, for me, I was recording a podcast episode with some guys. They've got a podcast where they do audio dramas from
hmm,
Lovecraft stories. It's not narrations; they actually do audio dramas. And the guy that does all the production, I had to ask him at one point because he was saying, "Oh, when I was a teenager watching YouTube and stuff, like, how old are you, mate?" It's like, "Oh, I'm 23, 24." It's like, "Wow, okay, so yeah." And my students, these kids don't know a world before YouTube, before social media and stuff. And for us straddling that transition between the analog and the digital, it is weird.
yeah, it is weird. I would hate to grow up now and be a teenager or high schooler because back then you would have a buffer between you and everyone else. You'd have time alone. But now there's no getting away from everyone. Everyone is always connected, and it can be a good thing. But it's nice to be able to just disappear for a while and have alone time.
Yeah, that's the because here I don't know how it works over in the US, but here in Spain, the kids have got 2 months summer holidays, so all of July, all of August, plus a week in June, and so my older one is very much into sports, but the little one wasn't. I was like, "Yay, I'm gonna," and I was like, "Hang on. If you think you're gonna stay home all day watching crap on your tablet," I said, "You are very, very wrong here." So I had to sign them. Well, I signed them up 3 weeks for soccer camp. So every morning they were doing 4 hours playing football, going to the beach and stuff. And then now they're in London, but in the in
Hmm.
between time, but luckily where I live, it's like, no, boys, every morning, get up, have breakfast. We are going to the beach and we're going to spend the morning on the beach. I don't care how much you roll around. I don't care if you get stung by a jellyfish. but that's what we're doing. No phones, no nothing. Just go out there, run, um, figure it out. So, but there's an onus now. I think there's a greater onus on us parents now than there was when you and I were young, where our parents would just send us to a room and we had to make our own fun and
Yeah.
be a bit more creative, isn't it?
Yeah. Now there's entertainment everywhere. You don't have to really go far to find something to entertain you.
Yeah, yeah. And you can, I mean, now that, because I'm on my own now, but I just found that every day there's about 10 minutes of my day when I'm just doom scrolling on Instagram, watching people crack their heads. So, but I suppose if I got the whole day to myself, 10 minutes is not the end of the world.
Not too bad. Yeah, but I can't do Instagram. I don't get it. I don't get the whole it's just full of ads and yeah, I don't know, it just makes me feel dirty.
But I don't know. I've got this. So I've sort of got to know this guy from Spain, and he does book reviews on Instagram,
Hmm.
and he clearly knows how to use the platform, which I don't. But so it's very well done with like the photos and the music and the transitions and I don't know the stories, whatever it's called. I don't know how to do it, but ultimately, what he's got is a paragraph. You're trying to summarize a 700-page fantasy book or a trilogy in one paragraph and a couple of photos, and it's very
Wow.
well done. But it's like, man, like that's just like kind of the bookstore recommendation that you see, like stuff's peak of the week.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I suppose there's a market for it. There's an audience for it.
On one hand, if you do it correctly, if you do it right, I can see there being value in that because if I'm at the bookstore and if I see a book and I want a quick, minute long review of a book, then yeah, it's kind of nice having something fast and easy to get through. But if on the other hand, if and it's not easy to do either. It's not easy to put a
No,
book review together in a paragraph and make it worth watching. On the other hand, it's kind of just imagine being an author spending years on a book and someone reviews it in a paragraph. It's kind of like okay, I
yeah,
don't know. Uh,
short man tries to destroy ancient family heirloom
yeah,
and comes back traumatized, isn't it?
yeah, it's like So I don't know. It's but it's what people are looking for. So
Not all, but are we a dying breed? Are we the last generation that is going to be doing this long form conversations about books and stuff like that?
no, I think I think things will. Everything comes in cycles. Everything comes. It'll come back around. That long form content will be, in the it thing again. I think it's weird because YouTube and video platforms feed off of short form content. I think that's what people are looking for. But if you've seen the stats, I think we posted them on the forum with. There's a lot of Gen Zers looking for long form content on podcasts.
Yeah.
So they go to podcasts and they'll sit through a 2 or 3 hour video if it entertains them, if it's engaging with them. So I think it's interesting that you go to a podcast and expect hours, to do when you're working out or you're doing mundane things around the house or you're on your commute or whatever. Versus YouTube, when I think most people go there for just something fast and something easy, and they move on. So I think it also depends on kind of what your expectations are, because long form content is still popular on audio podcasts, but not so much on video platforms.
Well, I actually suppose more than ever. When the podcast, like the first time I heard someone mention the word podcast was, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 years ago. And I was like, what is a podcast? And then every Dick and Tom and Harry has got a podcast these days.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's true.
it's the simplest thing to do, isn't it? It's much easier than YouTube. It's much easier than Instagram. It's literally worst case scenario, record yourself ranting on your phone, upload it to some podcast aggregator, and you're done, isn't it?
Hmm.
So there's more podcasts than ever before. There's more long form content than ever before. So I suppose there is clearly a demand for it. People
Hmm.
enjoy it. So yeah, it's an interesting dichotomy there. But I suppose it's something you can always do on the go. No one is actually
Yeah.
sitting down to listen or watch a podcast. You're always doing something else
Hmm.
around it. And maybe that's the
Yeah.
convenience of it.
Yeah, I think so. I think not being tied to it, to watch something, you can do it. You can listen whenever you, with whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a podcast these days. That's kind of what's nice about it, is that it's the barrier for entry is very low, and anyone can do it. You just come up with a name, a logo, and you can do it for free in Canva or using AI now,
Yeah, yeah,
and whip out a logo and record yourself ranting about whatever and upload it, and maybe you'll find an audience. It's Podcasts are different though without an algorithm. It's a lot different to gain traction on a podcast. It's a
yeah.
very slow road. It's a
But
very
although,
slow road.
could you said in the past that it can feel a bit like shouting to the void?
Mhm.
Have you still got that feeling about it?
Sometimes I used to listen to different podcasts, and there was one podcaster I listened to almost, I mean, like weekly, and he would always say, like, I just feel like I'm talking to myself every week, and I thought, well, I'm here listening. So I try to remember that someone, I do get, like, I guess, decent downloads. I guess, I don't know, but it's hard because on all the different platforms, because you have, like iTunes, you have Spotify, you have YouTube,
Amazon,
yeah,
the,
Amazon,
these,
all the different
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
It's hard to really get an idea for what you really your analytics are, because you can't track all these different. Not all the platforms give you the feedback, so it's weird.
Oh, hang on a second. So, because I'm trying to figure it out for my own podcast, do the reproductions? So, you got your podcast hosted somewhere, right?
Mhm.
But does that track only the reproductions on that particular platform, or does it track reproductions across all platforms?
Because I use Buzzsprout, and they distribute it to all the different platforms.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it gives me feedback, or gives me analytics for people who download it from the site, from
Okay.
iTunes, and from a couple other, like, Pod. There's a few different platforms it gives me feedback on, but other ones they don't send
Right.
numbers back.
So realistically, your numbers will be a little bit higher than what
Hopefully,
you are seeing.
a little bit. Yeah.
No, no.
So it kind of gives you a baseline. I mean, you can kind of see a baseline for which ones are popular, just based on, kind of the numbers it gives you. But it's hard to get accurate numbers.
Yeah. Because I got the same thing. I've got my podcast on Podbean,
Mhm.
and it gives me analytics, but either it's not getting played on certain platforms at all, or it's just not collecting analytics from those platforms.
Yeah, it's
Mystery.
probably not getting analytics from the platform, so it's tough. But yeah, it's a whole different game.
It's, I suppose, it's slightly more honest. There's not much room to hide when you are
Yeah,
rabbiting for an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Although, what's the longest episode you've recorded?
Oh, geez. I think it was like 3 hours, maybe longer. Yeah.
I cannot. But I suppose it depends on what you're doing, isn't it? Because for my podcast, it's always a very thematic, very focused
Mhm.
episode. So, and once that conversation is done, I don't necessarily feel like digressing into or just going off on tangents and stuff like that. Particularly if it's a guest that I've got, if it's an author, if it's someone they don't have 3 hours to
Yeah,
spare. They
yeah,
graciously give you one,
yeah,
um, and that's it. So I'm used to that kind of hour mark, and anything beyond
yeah.
is a bonus.
Yeah, I've tried to narrow it down. I've tried to be more focused over the years because back when, because I've had some people that are just like, I'm here for as long as you want to talk. So we'd go for however long. But now, whenever I have a guest, like an author or someone, I'll try and end at about an hour or so. Try to wrap things up for their sake and for my sake. But sometimes for like these open, like kind of open floor kind of things, when we have enough people, it can go on for longer. But I try to limit that to like 2 hours, just because after a while you kind of start to everyone
Yeah,
gets a little antsy.
and in my mind, I've got an optimal number of people for, particularly because we're not all sitting around the same table.
Mhm.
So the visual cues and the verbal cues take a little bit longer. So what's your max number of people you will have on a
I
show?
think thinking now probably six. But it is easier though because when you have the same people that come by, and now I have a pretty small group with people on the forums. No, we all get used to each other, so we all kind of know kind of when to pop in or to let someone have a moment or whatever. But when you have someone new, it takes a while, like you said, to get used to those cues because it seems like it kind of throws everyone off. So, uh, yeah, I try to, you know, six, I think, is like the max now. That's you want to give everyone time, but you don't want to have too many people.
That's a bit higher than mine, but I suppose you're a much better listener than I am. I just got, get, if you got six people around and everyone's got to say their piece, you have to be very patient until your turn comes back, isn't it? And
Yeah,
to actually show some respect and actively listen to what people are saying rather than wait for your turn to say that your next thing and not actually take in what people are saying.
yeah, yeah. That's another thing I've tried to be more focused on that too, with less people and kind of narrow things down a little bit because it is tough with 5, 6 people to keep things going. Sometimes can be tough. It's a crazy game out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever? I'll tell you one. I'm not going to name names because there's people adjacent to this conversation, but we s- went as a guest someone's podcast to talk about books, and I just, we're all numpties here. We all have our day jobs. We're not writers. We're not, you know, academics. We
Mhm.
just like to read and talk about books. But when you get an academic there, someone that actually knows their stuff, it's like, why am I here? How am I going to argue with this person? How am I going to bring my point across? And there was that certain intellectual gap between this person and myself. I don't know if everyone else felt the same, but I certainly felt it. And yeah, I just prefer conversations where everyone is a bit more on the same level, and you can have a bit more of a flow of conversation.
Yeah, I feel like that a lot because I'm just an idiot with a microphone. So what do I know? I don't know anything. But when we do have people that are kind of next level, I just like to just ask questions and try and learn from them. But
Yeah,
it is a little intimidating sometimes when you talk to certain people.
yeah, and it feels a bit like being back at university.
Mhm.
And sometimes I just cannot articulate what I'm thinking. Like I may disagree with someone, but I just lack the intellectual or linguistic capacity to express my ideas.
Yeah, yeah, it can be hairy sometimes, and I wonder if the listener notices that too. They must. They have to, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It just feels a bit awkward. Like if you got five people and there's just the one person that maybe says three sentences over the whole hour and a half. I just feel I feel bad, and you know what's the point? You might as well
Yeah.
just listen later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of it is just being part of it. I think it's being part of the experience to have the chance to ask a couple questions and just to be there, I think is kind of cool. But
True, true, true.
also you do it's easy for someone to feel left out.
Yeah,
So it's a tough balance to maintain.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow. There
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
The
But
woes and tribulations of a podcast host.
yeah, but it's I mean it's fun. I mean it's something I enjoy doing. So you know, if this is all we have to complain about, we're doing all right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We
Yeah.
know. Or should we should we pull up someone's video and start?
Oh, let's react to it. Yeah, yeah. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of fun on a
Talking about
podcast.
reacting to someone's video, our friend Mr. Devons spray
Yes,
painting his books
I love that.
in the most DIY possible way.
Yeah. So for those of you listening who aren't on the forum, we had a thread going about special editions, and there's all these special editions everywhere, and it's kind of the cool thing to do now to have special edition, and it is cool. But holy shit, it's hard to keep up with everyone's special editions. Anyway, Thomas made a video. Thomas J. Devins made a video about creating his DIY special edition. He set up his workbench and he spray painted the edges of the book, and he was going to glue them together and splay the. It's really neat. I
Yeah,
hope I buy one just to say I have one. That's really cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was just the whole thing like, just got a regular can of spray paint. No, I've got my beer here. It
Yeah,
was all.
yeah, that's pretty neat. I like
It was
that.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's pretty
We
cool.
need to organize that episode to talk about his books, his novellas.
Yes, yeah, I love those. I love those novellas. They're really cool. They're really entertaining.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
So speaking
Um,
of entertaining, one of the other topics you had brought up is superhero movies.
yeah. Um, are you interested anymore?
Not anymore. No, not at all.
When did you stop getting interested, being interested?
So I know that it's very unpopular. I was never into the Marvel stuff. I
That's
never
all
really
right.
got into it. I would fall asleep watching all the Marvel movies. It was like a tranquilizer dart for me. I was so bored. I would fall asleep. Theaters at home, I'd fall asleep. I just never got into them. They're massively popular. They made billions of dollars. So what do I know? Anyway, it's not my thing. If you like it, good for you. I got in and I got into more of the darker DC stuff, and then once all that sputtered out, and once all that fell apart, I just have it. It's just have no interest in any of this stuff. The Batman was okay. The Matt Reeves Batman, I thought that was okay. I thought that was fun.
Is that the one with
Twilight, what's his name?
Yeah,
Robert
yeah, yeah.
Pattinson.
Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. That's it. I was going to say Harry Potter, but that was way before Twilight.
No, I really liked Logan. Logan was good. I loved Logan. The movie
Yeah,
Logan.
I think the issue, what the problem is not so much with Marvel, but the problem with Batman is that every 5 years they need to bring up a new Batman movie, but we just keep getting told the same origin story,
Hmm.
or it's always an origin story. And the Nolan trilogy was quite. I really enjoyed the
Hmm.
Nolan trilogy, but the problem that you have if you want to carry that on is that it becomes the Marvel universe, and then we caught it at the time. But anyone that wants to get into the Marvel universe now, what do you have to do? You got to go back and watch 20 movies to get up to speed with whatever new movies are coming out now. And that cinematic universe was amazing. It was something never done before, but at some point it should have stopped
Yeah.
because it just keeps getting more and more convoluted. You are making use of less and less familiar characters to the casual viewer, and now I think they're just flogging at that horse.
Yeah. I think even Kevin Feige even came out and said the mistake he made is it was too much. Like they had the movies and they were just full steam ahead in movies making billions of dollars, and then they started doing some of the TV shows, and the TV shows would roll into movies, and people couldn't keep up with all the different shows. And I think he's come out and said like there was just too much. We overdid it, and I think there's truth. I think there's truth to that is they just got greedy, and you think that it'll never end, and it always does.
It's a
You know,
Hollywood thing. So long as
yeah,
the last movie made profit, we'll make another one, isn't it?
yeah,
But I would also question like the strategic vision, because the three Spider-Man Sony movies with Tobey Maguire were very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then I was shocked when they just rebooted Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. It wasn't that long a time between the last Tobey Maguire movie and the new Andrew Garfield movies. Like, really? Like, we just finished 3 years ago or 5 years ago, and you're gonna reboot it all again? Like, I don't know. Made no sense
Yeah.
to me.
That's one thing that Marvel, I give them credit for, is that they stuck to a plan, because you have DC and you have Spider-Man, which is owned by, what was owned, I think it's 50-50 now, by Fox and Disney, but the other studios just can't get their shit together. They can't just be consistent. Like the Batman, it was what, 2022, I think, that movie, 2023. And there's been, I think they just finished the script for the sequel recently. Like, why do you wait so long to even start production? Because when you start production, you're still a year away.
Yeah, but I think the problem that DC Warner Brothers has is that they've only got two, in my mind, one, but only two popular characters, which are Batman and Superman. Every other superhero in the DC universe is just lame. Aquaman, uh, Green fucking Lantern, whatever that is. It's just not. It's they're not cool. They're not cool. You compare that, the X Men,
Yeah.
Spider Man, Wolverine, Captain America, the Avengers. It's just, I think Marvel have got the coolest superheroes, with the exception of Batman. And Superman is just boring because he's invincible. So
Yeah,
I
it's
always,
Superman stuff.
I think my wife she wanted to take the kids to the cinema yesterday, but she said there's nothing for the kids to watch. There's only the new Superman movie, three horror movies, and some random crap. Like, there's no great movies in my mind these days.
Yeah, I think with well, Wonder Woman made a billion. The original Wonder Woman. The sequel was awful. In 1984 was awful. And Aquaman, that movie is complete ass. And it made $1 billion. I don't know how that movie made so much money, but yeah, I mean, Aquaman's kind of a lame character, so they just can't get it together. And having James Gunn restart the universe, just a bad idea.
But the whole thing is a bad idea. Just
Yeah,
restarting is too soon. You have to give a random number thrown in here, 10, 15 years. Kind of let a whole generation forget about it and start again. But then again, I don't know if some things don't need a remake.
mm, yeah,
You could just re-release the Marvel universe, wait 10 years or 15 years, and start again.
yeah. Like you said, I think they have to turn these out because they're so expensive to own these franchises that they want to see a return, and so they try to churn out these movies when they should wait and let everyone kind of take a breath. And I just think, I don't think superhero movies are a thing anymore. They still are. There's a group of people who will still watch them, but I don't see them being, their heyday is coming to an end. I just don't see people being as interested in them. And it's like the Superman numbers. I mean, it's doing okay, but I don't think it's gonna. If it does make a profit, it won't be much. And the the Fantastic Four movie, I just have zero interest in.
Yeah,
I don't.
absolutely, absolutely. But again, Superman. Didn't we have two Superman movies not that long ago?
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years. We had Man of Steel in 2012 or 13. Was it 15? Something like it was back then, and then we had Batman, Superman. We had the Avenger, or the Justice League, and then we had the other version, the Snyder version of Justice League. So it just they just can't get it together. Just
I, I'm going to throw a crazy thought out there and see what you think. We didn't have superhero movies before because we couldn't make them because they would look lame. the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. You didn't have the special effects ability. You didn't have any of that. So you couldn't make him. That's what you couldn't have made the whole Marvel's Avengers thing back in the 80s.
Right.
That's why the X-Men movies with Fox were so successful. It was the first time you could actually properly make visually credible superhero movies. And even then, they did them on I'm not going to say a shoestring budget, but it was certainly a limited budget compared to today, even adjusted for inflation and everything. The problem is that because now you can make those movies, because now you've got the FX capacity, you just keep churning them out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to come to an end too, because are you going to keep spending 500 to $700 million on these movies when they don't make a profit?
I don't know if we can see, possibly not, because the studios are now bigger now. Disney's massive. But you remember Cutthroat Island, the movie that famously bankrupted and closed down the Carolco studios, the production company. All it took is one movie with a massive budget, flopping at the cinema, and it completely killed a whole studio. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that here. I don't think one of these 500 million budget movies plus advertising, if it flops, that's not going to kill Disney or Warner Brothers, is it?
You have too much money.
Whereas by rights, it probably should.
Yeah. Yeah, it should.
No, but I don't mean should. I mean, like, they should really learn the lesson. They should really, you know, take in the learning points from that failure and adapt and adjust accordingly. I don't think that's happening at all.
No, it doesn't seem like it. I think they seem to be making some adjustments now, like slowing down the amount of content for the Marvel stuff. They're doing as much of it, but I don't know. The Fantastic Four. I know that people love the Fantastic Four. Some people do, but I've never got. I don't.
I always felt they were a lame superhero group.
Yeah. Like the X-Men, they have an edge to them. The Avengers have an edge. The Fantastic
Even
Four is very vanilla.
even Alpha Flight had an edge to that.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, not cool. The
Yeah.
thing is that all that stuff from Stan Lee from the '60s was actually pretty lame. I've no honestly, I've got the the original X-Men run written by Stan Lee back in the '60s, '70s until it sort of went out of print because it wasn't selling, it was lame. And you read those stories, and they are really really lame. Oh, the only thing they had going for them was the characters he created. The characters were already there, you know, Professor Xavier, Colossus, all the characters were there, but the stories were rubbish. They were very childish, very infantile, very '60s, and they went out of print until Chris Claremont brought them back later. So the Fantastic Four has got that Stanley whiff about them that it doesn't cry out cool to me.
Yeah, it's funny because Jared and I are rereading the Claremont run in X-Men, and those books do have a little bit of an edge to them, but they're very. You can tell that they're written for kids, which makes sense. They're written for a wide audience. They play it safe for the most part, but it is interesting to see the difference in how comics were written then versus now. That they were made for a broader, younger audience.
It was meant to sell. It was product, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of gotten away from that though.
Yeah. Again, people can do whatever they want. They can
Mhm.
produce or create whatever content they want, and then it's up to you, me, and anyone to decide whether they want to pay for it or not.
Yeah, let the markets decide.
I usually like my politics out of my entertainment,
Yeah,
but
me too. A lot of people don't, though. A lot of people want some kind of message or some to make a statement. And it's like I don't. I want to escape. I don't want more
I,
reminders on how screwed up everything is.
I don't mind it if it makes me think, if it
Uh,
just presents an idea or a case or a situation. But when it's very clearly one way or the other, that's when I mind,
yeah,
which is, I always appreciated Michael Jordan when they asked him for his political views. And he said, both liberals and Democrats buy sneakers. Why would I alienate half my customer base? I said, yeah, you understand, Michael.
but he's a whatever billionaire or whatever he is. But yeah, I don't mind it when it's presenting an idea and exploring an idea, and it's something that you can pick up on or not. I do appreciate that. But when it's just in your face, just blatantly trying to prove some kind of point, or that's when it's just like, okay, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
Either
absolutely.
way, no matter what side it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but maybe that was superhero. What's it called?
fatigue,
This in. Say that again.
fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue. That's it. Superhero fatigue is very real.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't. But the question is like, what's next then? Then what happens then? Because if superhero movies were dominating, then what's going to happen next?
Well, it's a good question because I was just thinking about it. Different generations have had their movies, isn't it? Starting with possibly, the blockbuster ones. I'm talking about Star Wars,
Mm.
Indiana Jones, Rambo, or the action movies from the 80s. I don't know quite what happened in between. Probably I'm missing something out. Then we had
Probably
Lord of the
like
Ring.
Tarantino in the '90s.
I'm talking about more like kids, maybe more for
Oh,
kids. Because clearly,
uh,
as a kid, Star Wars, Indiana Jones were great. I
mm,
can see how Lord of the Rings was the
yeah,
Star Wars for a new generation. Harry Potter, God
Harry Potter.
forbid, God forbid, the Twilight Saga or the Hunger Games.
Yeah,
But what are my kids gonna watch? What's gonna be their thing? I don't know. Maybe
I don't
someone
know.
has written it. Maybe it's gonna be Verming of the Old Empire. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it will be. But something will come. Something will pop out of. Well, I mean, I guess you can also ask the question: Is do kids want a new another Harry Potter, another
Yeah.
Star Wars, or do they want to watch YouTube?
No, they do. They do. Because I forgot Pirates of the Caribbean
Hmm.
again. Another. If you just take the first three movies, yeah, I think those things have become now part of the zeitgeist to have a generational movie trilogy or movie series that, for some reason, captures the imagination. I think that's going to happen. Possibly fantasy, possibly somewhere in the fantasy realm. I don't know what the next children's big fantasy series is going to be.
I don't know. It's tough. Uh, what will the next one be? Oh, it's been written. I'm just waiting for someone to tell it. But
There was what was his name? James Lanley, Michael. It was the Skullduggery Pleasant series. It was very popular in the UK
hmm,
when I was there. Have you heard of it?
no,
It's written for kids, and it's a skeleton who is a private investigator, and that's all I know about it because I never read the books. But it was one of those things guaranteed in every school library in the UK. You would have the Skullduggery Pleasant books there, like you would have the Harry Potter ones or whatever. So maybe
hmm,
that's one that missed out on the whole being adapted.
yeah, it'll come out of nowhere. Just don't
Yeah,
know what it is yet.
yeah, yeah.
See what happens next.
Sorry.
we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, yeah,
What's
yeah.
what's the
Sorry.
next thing? But yeah, it's pickings are slim
But
for
like you
kids.
said, it's written. It's somewhere out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone has to pick it up. I think we need to come out. Maybe the studios need to get their fingers burnt with this last batch of superhero movies. Did you got one that never got the production value that it deserved? Was the Ninja Turtles?
yeah, they fell off a cliff, didn't they? They were a big thing there for a while, and then now they just were. I don't even know where they went. I don't know why they haven't had a resurgence.
Because I think it was certainly appealed to kids of every generation. You know, it's
Hmm.
got everything: pizza, ninjas. What's not to like about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, was the early '90s? They were huge,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I don't know what happened to them. Have you read the original comics? The original.
No, I saw that I think they've been reprinted and
Hmm.
recompiled into. So it's like, oh, another series that I want to pick up, and it's like, ah. So no, I haven't. But from what I heard, they were slightly more rude and a bit more
Hmm.
crass and a bit more edgy than the cartoon version that we got in the 90s.
I heard they're very adult, not like R rated, maybe borderline R rated, not over the top R, but I heard that they were very adult oriented. So it's funny to hear a book like that get converted into a children's movie franchise, but they were huge.
Absolutely. I remember playing the arcade games that came out. There was a few computer games as well, and the movies. There was the original adaptation, and I think wasn't there relatively recently that there was another two movies made,
I think they
action,
were
live
animated, right?
action.
I think they're
No,
animated.
they were live action with what's her name? The actress that allegedly was super hot but looked a bit.
Oh, Megan Fox. Oh, that's right.
That's right. There you go. See, perfect
Yeah.
description. Wasn't she? Or am I making this up?
No, I think it was. I think that was a few years back, but yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And the last one that came out, I think a couple of years ago, they did an animated movie, and I took my youngest one to the cinema to watch it, and it was awful. The style of animation was awful. It really wasn't great. I wish that I don't know why they decided on that particular um, art style, but it wasn't great.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think that movie did very well. The Megan Fox, and she
Yeah,
looks completely different now. I don't know what happened to her, but it's too bad.
fell off a cliff by the looks of it.
Yeah, plastic surgery. I don't know. It's
Oh,
strange.
really?
Yeah, but the next big thing is out there. I just don't think it's superheroes anymore.
Pirates,
Maybe,
westerns,
maybe
not for kids. Then
no
pirates. It's gonna be pirates.
pirates,
Space,
ninjas.
space, space pirates.
Sure, gotta write it.
There's some stuff out there. There's some stuff out there.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned movies from the '90s, or other. It seems like we had a wider variety of movies and different types of movies, and now we don't have. We really have either superhero movies, kind of low budget horror. There's not a whole lot in between usually that make it to the theater.
No, I'm very out of touch with the actual experience of going to the cinema. Before kids, I used to go once or twice a week. As soon as the kids came along, that's gone the way of the dodo. But we were talking before. I just want someone to point to me what are the present day equivalents of rattle off the list we were talking about. Fight Club, Reservoir Dogs, uh, Pulp Fiction, Usual Suspects. What a great movie. The Guy Ritchie movies, the first two Guy
Mhm.
Ritchie movies were
Snatch.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Um, what else? What else? Those kind of whole ensemble cast movies. Seven.
Hmm.
Uh, they're not high budget, but they really did something different. Clearly, it's some writer or director's vision, and I'm just ignorant. Like I said, I'm out of touch with cinema. But if they're out there, could someone point them out to me, please?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think it's a couple of things. I think streaming services killed that experience. I think now that the streaming services want everything on their platform, so they'll create content for their platform, and they'll try to, you know, port everything on there. Because now everyone has a platform. They try to make content and put it on their platform and avoid putting it in the theater. And also, I think it's greed now that certain movies make so much money. It's like, why invest in five smaller movies that we hope one of them takes off? Or let's dump hundreds of millions into this whatever movie and it'll make a billion. So that it's not happening anymore. So I think studios have to go back to, taking chances on stuff again and, trying different things and going, lower budget movies and making more of them.
You're absolutely right. Last couple of nights, I've been trying to sit down and watch a movie. I've got Netflix, Amazon Prime, and HBO. I couldn't find a movie to watch that I haven't seen 7 times already.
Hmm.
There's a lot of like Netflix, by the looks of things now, just produces a lot of content for itself, but it's all series. There are the movies just don't inspire me because you haven't heard of them. They just appear on the platform.
Hmm.
You don't have any reference. Amazon Prime has got Sodol. So, yeah, because every studio has got now their own platform, the appeal of Netflix is gone.
Yeah.
Same as Amazon Prime. So, I don't know. I don't know what these movies have.
It's too
And you're
bad.
right. And you're right. Instead of making a 500 million movie, how about you make a 400 million movie, an 80 million movie, and a 20 million movie? Because it cannot be that difficult, can it?
I mean, I think especially with these ensemble superhero movies, because now they're making Avengers, is it Secret Wars, or I don't know, what is it called now?
Not really.
With like 20 people in it, like high high profile names. Can you imagine organizing and getting 20 different actors? I mean, that must be a pain in the ass and expensive.
But do they get paid by the hour, so to speak, or do they just get paid for appearing on the movie?
Probably just get paid for appearing, but to manage all those people and to who has to be in a scene with who, and it's just kind of wild. Must be expensive and a hassle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But I think this is where appreciate things like the the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy. It didn't cost anywhere near what the present day superhero movies cost.
no, they're beautiful films too. I mean,
Yeah,
beautiful
and the
films.
the execution is almost flawless. So think, every so often give a young maverick director a script and some money.
Yeah, I just think they're afraid of taking risks, and they would rather reboot something or remake something than have a new idea. So
Ha-
they're gonna have to eventually start new ideas.
You have to convince me that giving a young director 40 million for a movie is more risky than doing a whole assembled superhero movie costing you 500 million plus advertising budget that almost doubles it, where you have to make a billion worldwide before you break even. Tell me that that's less risky than giving someone 40 million to make a movie.
It's crazy. I don't know. They're gonna have to. I think it's gonna change. I think things are. starting to go back over a little bit, but at least I hope so.
I think you need to get your feelers out there and bring some industry insider to have this
Carl knows.
conversation.
Carl works the industry. You should get him on it. Pick his brain.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
true. Where's
Yeah.
Carl these days? Hasn't been seeing in a while.
I think he's been busy, but I think he was traveling this last week. But I'll see him on Tuesday for the laws and stuff. I'll ask him. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
Get the inside scoop. Yeah. Hopefully they'll go back to get a more variety of movies now. And but then again, like the new A24 movie, was it called Eddington with Joaquin Phoenix and I think Pedro Pascal's in that movie too. He's in every
What the
movie.
f- well,
I
that
don't think he's doing
guy,
very well.
that guy has got some compromising photos of someone doing something,
He's in everything.
and he's not good at. He's not that good.
No,
I liked him in Narcos,
he was really good in Narcos.
but I don't think he's a credible action movie actor.
No, I don't think so either. He's just it's someone has to tell him it's okay to say no. You can say no sometimes. You don't have to be in everything people want you to be in. I think there's a risk for overexposure with him. He's just everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And he's just doing. I suppose he's almost doing anything and everything. He's certainly not getting pigeonholed.
Yeah, I mean it's a variety of things, but when your face is on 3 different movie posters at the cinema, you know, take a break, dude. Like you're gonna it's not always a good thing to be everywhere all the time. People get
Yeah,
tired of you.
has there been an actor like that in the past? Can you think of an actor, like you said, that has had 3 movies out at the same time?
No, I can't think of anyone
Brad
really that was
Pitt?
that much.
Brad Pitt?
Even him, I mean, his movies are spread out. I don't think he had 3 movies in the cinema at the same
Yeah.
time.
Tom Cruise?
Even Tom Cruise, I mean, he would get spread out. Um,
I'll
maybe he
tell
had
you,
movies close, but not too close.
you got another actor that has gone sort of missing. Edward Norton. He was a great actor.
I don't know where he went.
And talk about another '90s movie that was fantastic, American History X.
That was a good one too. I mean, he was really good in Primal Fear. That's what
Yeah,
kind of put him on the
yeah.
map.
And
Yeah.
all the early movies with Ben Affleck and what's his face, his mate, Matt
Damon,
Damon.
Matt
Yeah,
Damon.
yeah. Where are those kind of movies these days? I keep asking. Sorry, I'm gonna shut up
No, I
now.
mean we don't like these like Goodwill Hunting type of movies. We don't get those either. Like kind of those inspirational, story. We don't get that anymore. It's too bad.
And then, yeah, I don't know if it's a dire state of affairs. When was it last year? The whole summer blockbuster. No, last year. I think it was last year. It was either Barbie or Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Those were your 2 big blockbusters. And it's like, really, Oppenheimer is a blockbuster?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's kind of an anomaly, I think. 'Cause I think it helps them when it's Nolan. But yeah, I was surprised it made so much money.
Yeah. And Barbie, I mean, I sort of get the appeal, but I'm a bit out of touch, literally and metaphorically, with young girls these days. But do they play with Barbie dolls anymore? Is Barbie still a thing?
I guess they do. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, even if they don't, it's still the older generations who would go support it because I heard it was funny. I heard it was. But I didn't see it, but I heard it was. I heard it was okay. I heard it had its moments.
All
So
right.
yeah, I don't know.
Odd.
I think it's just the name recognition on it, and maybe it turned
Super,
people into the toys.
yeah, Super Mario.
Huh,
That was an okay movie. I
I
took
didn't see
my
that
son
one.
to
Yeah,
watch. And then again, with Super Mario, you could do all sorts of stuff, couldn't you?
yeah. You do a lot with that too. Have they made a good Super Mario movie? I don't think I don't haven't seen them.
No, they did the animated one last year, I think it was. And I think it's a missed. It's a very underexploited sort of franchise from a movie perspective. It's my little one. I took him to the cinema, and I think you know what kids are like. They can watch the same movie every day, basically.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been through that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And have guitar to stuff.
Ice Age. At one point, I just didn't know which I no Madagascar. Sorry, it was Madagascar. Madagascar 1, 2, 3. And my oldest one will watch them on a loop. And I never actually sat down to watch Madagascar, but I could feel the lines of I could finish the dialogues while I was in the kitchen or whatever. It was always in the background of my life for those when my son was between 3 and 6 years old.
Oh yeah, my son loved Cars. He watched Cars on loop for like a year. So
Yeah, there
yeah.
you go. But see, those kind of Disney Pixar movies, um, are they making them anymore? Because now they're doing those stupid live action remakes, which I don't know
Yeah.
whose idea that was.
Yeah, that's another good idea. Yeah, they're still doing some. The last Pixar movie I think did really, really bad. I don't know why. I heard it did really horrible. The Lilo and Stitch movie did really. I think the Lilo and Stitch movie made 1 billion. I don't think it's Pixar though, but yeah, Pixar is not in good shape. It's had a string of bombs lately. I think what I've heard.
Wow,
So time might be running out.
it's a shame
It is too bad.
because that's the true Disney, isn't it? That's kind of the what I would associate with Disney.
Yeah, it's too bad. But heads will roll. They always do. They always do.
Yeah, but not the right ones ultimately, isn't it?
No, it's not the right ones. Never is. But, so what are you reading? What are you currently reading?
With the same thing I showed you last week, which is book 3 in the Africanus trilogy. But because I'm on holidays, I'm actually making really good pace with it, so I should finish it this week. So now the legions of Rome have finally defeated King Antiochus of Asia, and it's sort of that point in time of sort of the emerging Rome as an empire. And then that's the last book that I've actually got on my shelves.
Hmm.
After that, I don't have any more books left to read at home. It's going to be
Wow.
it's going to be a free sort of free banquet after that. What are you reading now?
Well, what are you going to read after? Are you gonna buy a book? Or are you going to read it digitally?
So I've got when I took the family to the airport on the way back, I stopped over at a bookstore opposite the train station. I picked up a graphic novel, Spanish one.
Hmm.
I've got the Death Note manga, the box set that I bought for my birthday, but I usually tend to read those in between books. I'll have a look at that. After that, I don't know. I really want to read Holly Tinsley's second book in the Vanguard Chronicles,
Oh,
which
we
is
men of Ashen. Or
Women of Ash and Shadow.
yeah, the second one is jeez.
Oh no, is something the hand something I don't
Oh,
know.
the hand that.
It's not the hand that rocks the cradle. I want to say that.
No, I'll look it up as you're talking.
So I want to read that, and then my wife is bringing 3 horror books from London when she gets back. So I'll slowly make my way through that. But like I said last time, I just want 300, 350 page books. I don't want anything longer until next year.
Let's see. Oh, the hand that casts the bone.
They have the cast. There you go.
And also, The Hollows is one I want to read too, from Holly.
I really wanted to read Lydia's um, book, Lydia J.
Dance with Me.
Dance with Me. But I think we talked about it, like shipping costs over here. Just it's an expensive proposition.
Yeah, yeah. It's can you get it digitally or?
No, she hasn't done a digital version of it.
Oh wow.
Annoyingly, I'll talk to her next week.
Yeah,
I'll tell her off.
yeah. Ask her what's going on with that. What is going on there?
You know, she's done audiobooks, hardcover, spray edge pages, all sorts of stuff, but not the digital version.
I heard it's a really good book. Everyone raves about it.
Yeah, I really like the idea though behind it. So that's why I'm very curious about it.
Yeah, yeah, for good things. I'm reading Cities of the Plain. It's the last book in the Border trilogy by Cormac McCarthy. It's okay. It's a western. It's tying everything together. I hope from the first two books, but it's been a good series. This last book is a little slow story wise, and I'm reading an arc from Ken Liu called "All That We May See or Seem." It's
Right?
a not so far in the future story about a woman who is like a hacker and has it's a world that AI bots run your life. Like AI bots do everything for you, and everything is recorded, and anything you put on social media is used by government corporations, and it's a kind of typical setup. But I think it's what seemed dystopian 5 or 10 years ago is like reality now.
Mm,
So I don't think it's that far off, which is scary. But so far it's good. It's like a thriller, a, techno thriller, but it's not like a thick fantasy book. It's more of just like a page turning thriller, which it's okay sometimes. Doesn't not
yeah,
everything has to be. You don't need to be taking notes and
yeah,
drawing diagrams for every book you read. It's nice to just read a story and enjoy it. So
yeah.
it's been fun.
It reminds me of that episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah,
Have you watched where they got like a social score?
yeah, that's a great episode. Yeah,
That is a great episode.
yeah, really good. And I mean, I think there are countries that have that kind of social credit system where not social media, but just in general, people that you interact with, they give you a score, and then your life is based around your kind of social score. And if you have a bad social score, you can't travel, you can't go certain places.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, yeah. I'll find the country. I forget what country it was, but yeah, it's absolutely a thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because it's one of those weird things. I'm sure the US works the same as the UK, but it's something that doesn't exist in Spain. In the UK, you've got a credit score. So if you want to apply for a mortgage or a loan, you got some kind of credit score. They look at your score and they will make it easier or harder for you
mhm.
to get that loan.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't exist in Spain.
Hmm.
You don't actually have an official score. You just go to the bank and they just look at your salary for the last so many months or whatever, your savings, and that's it. You are approved for the loan or not. There's no tiering of the customer.
Ah, interesting.
So I
Hmm.
suppose. So it scares me. Those sort of social scoring, social credit, financial credit scores, man, every time you reread 1984 by
Yeah.
Orwell, it's scary and uncanny.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Even some of the things you read about in that book, you can see happening now. So it must be mandatory reading for any politician.
Yeah,
It's scary. The book's scary. It's like a handbook for government. Yeah, it's
yeah.
wild. I love that
But
book.
But he did it. He did it not only with 1984, but he also did it with Animal Farm.
Hmm.
Because I think he wrote Animal Farm way before events unfolded in the way they did. So he kind of predicted how the whole communism thing would end with Animal Farm. The guy must have been a genius,
Yeah.
because it's rare that you get someone with that kind of observational, analytical mind.
Called it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Scary.
it's the same as, have you watched The Big Short?
No, I haven't.
You have to. It's the movie. It's Ryan Gosling there, Steve Carell. It's about the big credit crisis of 2008, right? And which I was working in financial markets at the time,
Hmm.
so I was there when all of that happened. I knew people that lost their jobs on the day. The guys I used to talk at Merrill Lynch sort of disappears from one day to the next when Lehman
Oh.
Brothers collapsed and all the stuff. So I was there. So the movie is based on a book by Michael Lewis, and it's about how the whole thing unraveled. And what you get, and I understand looking back on it now from reading the book or watching the movie, is that about three people in the world understood what was going on and what was going to happen. Everyone else was clueless. They just thought they were printing free money, and it's those cases where very, very, very few people actually do have the understanding of not only what's going on now, but what the next step is going to be. And George Orwell was probably falls in that category
Hmm.
of understanding the present and accurately predicting the future.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I've never seen that one before.
I've watched that movie so many times.
Hmm.
That and Moneyball.
But the analytics baseball movie.
Yeah, yeah. Which actually, both movies are based on Michael Lewis's books.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. Maybe there you go. Maybe you go. There you go. Those are my present day movies. You know, Moneyball, Blindside, Big Short. They are
Hmm.
very good.
Nice. Yeah, check them out.
Going back full circle.
Yeah. You proved yourself wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I have to do is start talking. I'm
Yeah.
filtered.
Think of something. Thanks for coming. And thanks for coming by. I know that's kind of a um, just kind of impromptu thing. So
Yeah, that's all right.
I know we'll always find stuff to talk about.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it after going off stuff happening for next week. But no, thank you, Steve. It's always very enjoyable doing this sort of thing and chatting shit and shooting the breeze and
Yeah.
bringing the
Where
world.
can people find you?
I can be found on my YouTube channel, Jose's Amazing Worlds
Nice.
of Fantasy, my podcast, Fantasy Talks Live, and lurking over at the pagechewing.com forums.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you again for coming by. And yeah, you can find me, of course, on patreon.com. Best way to find me. So until next time, talk to everyone very soon.